Today we are reading Stories of the Saints
by Carrie Wallace and illustrated by Nick Thornborough. Who are we reading about today?
Lucy.
Lucy. Do you want to tell them all this stuff?
She lived in 283 to 304. Location, Italy. Emblem, eyes on a plate, palm branch. Patron of the blind, salesman, and writers. Feast day, December 13th, which is the day before my birthday.
That's fun. Right. When Lucy was just a girl, her father died and left her a fortune. Lucy's mother was sick too. She didn't know what might happen to her, and she was worried about who would take care of Lucy if she were left all alone in the world. So Lucy's mother hatched a plan. She offered a pagan man a large dowry to persuade him to marry Lucy and manage her fortune. She thought that if Lucy were married, she'd always have someone to take care of her. But Lucy didn't want to marry a pagan man, and she didn't want a fortune. "I want to give our money away to the poor," she told her mother, "and I want to spend my life following Jesus." But her mother kept pestering Lucy to get married, so Lucy hatched her own plan. "Would you spend the night with me at the tomb of St. Agatha?" she asked her mother. Her mother agreed. So that night the two of them prayed together in the dark at St. Agatha's tomb. And while they were praying, what do you think happened?
I forgot this story. I don't know.
Agatha herself appeared to Lucy in a vision. "Your mother will be healed by the power of God," she told Lucy. The next morning, Lucy's mother was perfectly healthy.
Who's Agatha again?
Agatha was another saint who was no longer walking around alive on the earth. She had already died and gone to heaven. But she appeared to Lucy in a dream, in a vision. So the next morning, Lucy's mother was perfectly healthy, and she was overcome with gratitude. That's a great response. "If you want to give your fortune to the poor," she told Lucy, "I won't stand in your way." Lucy was overjoyed. She took all the riches her father had left her and gave them away to poor people in her city so they could have food to eat and good things to wear and homes to call their own. But the pagan man who wanted to marry Lucy and claim her fortune was furious. And in Syracuse, where Lucy lived, it was against the law to be a Christian. It was illegal. It was a crime. So the man went to the king of the city and reported her, and the king, who hated Christians, ordered Lucy brought to him. Soldiers came to Lucy's house and pounded on her door. Then they burst into her house and seized Lucy and tried to carry her away. But none of them could budge her. Suddenly, she had become incredibly heavy. She was still the same size she had always been, but she seemed to weigh as much as a mountain. She's not the only one that happened with. The whole troop of soldiers couldn't pick her up, even when they all tried to lift her together. So they brought in a team of oxen, which had the strength of many men, but the whole team of oxen couldn't drag her 1 inch. "We can't move this girl," the soldiers told the king. "Then set her on fire," he ordered. They came back with coals and torches, but the fire wouldn't burn Lucy. "Pluck out her eyes," the king ordered. So the soldiers plucked out Lucy's eyes and gave them to her in a dish. But Lucy just picked them up and put them right back in their sockets, and she could see again.
This was the fire in her hair, and this is her eyes.
Can they see that, cameraman?
Yeah.
Careful.
Yeah.
Finally, the soldiers killed Lucy with a sword.
Oh no.
But Lucy had already done everything she wanted. She had given her family's riches away to the poor, and she had followed God for her whole life. The end.
Amen.